Alright, we're back onto another project here. So this is one I haven't looked at for about a year now, or at least. So this motor was on hold, so we're going to jump into this other one. So this is a 90s Evo motor, 80 incher. So I got to figure out what we're going to do to it because I don't remember. So this has got the late flywheels on it. See, it doesn't have the stub on the end, so that makes it 90 to 94. 1993. Let me see, what year would this be? What year did they put this stub on the end of it? 93, I think is when they did that. So this is probably 90-92 motor, would be my guess. It's got a little bit of wear on the pinion shaft, but not too bad. I haven't looked at this side yet to see what it looks like. So I have to figure that out. This push rod's a little bit tweaked here. I don't know if you can notice it's flopping around a little bit. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So these ones over here are straight. That's how they're supposed to be. So they won't back up. There we go. Ah, there we go. That one's pretty straight. This one here, not so much. Wobble, 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 wobble. Okay, so I'm going to put this into my lathe. I'm going to beat on it a little bit and straighten it. Yeah, this should be close enough. Okay, so this one here needs work. This one's bad. The flywheels, these are stock looking flywheels, nothing been modified on them. Look like they're normal abuse. So we gotta get this bearing off so we can see how bad it is. There's the gasket set in the way. Cool-medic. Alright, so we gotta get the bearing off of here so we can see what's wrong with the motor. Figure out what we're going to do to fix it. So all this stuff's just been sitting in a box for months. So, you want to know how long my wait list is? This is a quickie job. So it's about a year and a half. Alright, so we pull the bearings off. So we can see what the bearings look like. I'm not concerned about the bearing race, not the bearings. If this race is junk, pretty much the crank's junk. It's not 100%, but it pretty much that's how it works around here. Alright. Definitely seen better. See how the camera picks up on the wear on this thing. Stupid gasket sits in the way. Alright, so you can see how it's pretty worn heavily on the shaft here. So you're looking for pits and stuff. You can see a pit right there. You have to look at it a little closer to see how deep it is. Okay, that right there is not good. I don't know if you can see that mark right there, but it's actually got a pretty good line in there. Right in the middle of the bearing area, which is not a good place for it to be screwed up. This side of the shaft's not really loaded over here, so it's not too bad. Alright, so we got two areas to look at a little bit closer, which means I have to use two hands to look at it closer. So we got to see if those are pits or just scratches. Pit means the metal's broken, fatigued, like a pothole in the road. Got a big hole. That don't get better. The scratch means you got a gouge in the road that hasn't broken up yet, but it will. Okay, so what we have to do now is figure out what we got here, what we're dealing with. Can't see when I'm like that. So. Definitely got a big nick in that thing. It's right where it's heavily loaded too, so that's not good. Okay, So I'm going to look at it with a magnifying glass and see if I can see any pitting going on. So if you see any pits, it's junk. The light really sucks right here. I pretty well don't like it. It looks like a big ass pit right there. Yeah. So we'll get to figure out what we're going to do about this one. Let's see if I can drop the camera on the floor here while I do this. Play dangerous. Okay, we're going to kill the light. Hold the camera with one hand. This is fun to do. Okay, so I got the bad part right here in the light. Let's get it where you can see what I was looking at. I don't want to focus on that area. I'll try to cheat the camera with my finger. Can't even see it. It's right there, but oop. Yeah, camera doesn't want to cooperate. It's not focusing on the part there. As you can see it right there on the side, but you put it here in the light, you can't see it. Kind of goes out of view right there, but oop. Trying to make the camera do something doesn't want to do. I mean, there's the thing right there on the left side of the race. Try to hold it better. Okay. I was able to cheat with a little bit. Yeah, that camera's not going to appreciate this at all. Yeah, I can't make it focus in. Maybe on TV you'd be able to see it better, but I can't tell. But anyway, it's all flaking right there. So that means that race is bad. So that means we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do about that. So I don't think the owner's going to be happy about telling this crank's no good. These bearings have a lot of abuse on them. These are replaceable here. We don't care about it. The other side is sitting over here on the table, waiting to be machined. I got a machine out to here where I welded it all up. That's what we called quits a while ago. So right in this bearing area in here is where we worry about things getting all worn. Damn light won't stay on. Cameras just don't pick up smooth race marks at all. Yeah, I can't do it with one hand. It looks like it might be alright, but I can't do stuff with one hand. Alright, so we're going to have to say questionable on the case race. Here's our heads. They're all apart. And they need to be cleaned up. They don't look too awful bad. Stuff's in the way. Boom. Get junk out of your way that's in your way, and you can work. See, that's silicone. That's not good inside a motor. There's more of it. All right. What's in the baggie? Oh, rocker arms. These are old crane rockers. Roller bearing. Real old stuff. That's from the early 2000s, late 90s. Old stuff. That's what I'm looking for. I hope these are shafts. Got some valves in there somewhere. Yeah. What happened to the valves? Disappeared. Here's our rods. Gotta look at the bearing races, see how they look. Stuff hasn't been cleaned up yet, totally, so there's still got a little bit of oil residue on everything. So, first thing you do is use your fingers to feel it. They're shot. It's got a heavy wear lip on it. I'm going to measure it. And they measure pretty round, but the gauge isn't hitting the part that's bad. You can feel it as you run your finger across. It's wavy as hell. It's got some serious amounts of wear and everything. Yeah, see, we dropped a thousandths there. Yeah. These got to have new races put in. More likely, I don't think that'll hone out. I'd be surprised if it did. So those need to be worked on. So this is the crank pin that came out of it. I'm not going to reuse that. This here is possibly usable. Has to be all cleaned up. Resanded and made smooth, but as long as there's no pits in there. Right. Here's the cam they had in there. Looks like an old sifting cam to me. What is this thing? An ST1. Don't know what that is. Looks like a shifting time style gear on the end of it. Pinion gear looks usable. You look at the wear marks on the teeth, is what you're looking at. See how it's still nice and smooth and not worn all the way across the whole face. That's a good sign. That means it's not worn out. There's a problem with tapered exhaust gaskets. They plug up the exhaust port. So you have a port, and then you put that in there and you close up about halfway by having gas, having all this shit inside your motor. That makes it run really crappy. So if you want to make the bike run better, take the gasket out and put a better one in it and it'll run a lot faster. It'd be like having ported heads. You'd be surprised how often you see that. Gaskets. We got different rocker boxes for it. So how come we have two different sets of rocker shafts? These are the ones that fit his bike. Why do we have these in here? Oh, these are probably from the ones I stripped apart. I got them set another set of boxes to use. I probably stripped apart that, set them through the parts in there. That happens. Here's the lifters. Got a lot of wear on them. Roller cages we're not going to use again. Oil pump gear looks good. You're looking to make sure this is nice and square up in here. And the leading edges of the teeth are not worn out. I don't think you can see the polishing on the sides. You know, down the side here is where they wear where my thumbnail is. And so on this side's the leading edge here. So if there's not a big groove in the damn thing going down, it's good. This one looks alright. There's a wear mark in there, but it's good. If we keep the original crank, we can use those parts. If you do aftermarket crank, those get changed out to the older design. These here are the forged pistons. You can see all the metal and stuff that's been in them and scratches. They're all scratched up from junk in them. Dirty motor. I don't see too much big flaky metal, but definitely was dirty. Not sure the size either. Not without measuring it. So we'll give a quick measurement, see what we got. 301, 302, so these are probably 5 over. So you might be able to do 10 over and save the cylinders. The cylinders are over here. I blasted them because we were going to coat them, but I'm not sure if we're using these or not because he wanted a new set of cylinders which are laying down here. Maybe, I don't remember. So we'll have to see. These are 10.5 to 1 Wiseco pistons. Normal hot rod stuff. There's our oil pump. See the trash that's gone through it. So the light might help. I don't know if you can see all the scratches right there by my thumb. Hold that through there, makes the pump not very efficient. This pump isn't real bad, but it's definitely not new anymore. We were going to do a new pump, which is in one of these other boxes floating around here somewhere. Oh, up here. There's a new pump in there. So, once again, it shows a lot of metal, dirt, junk's been through the pump, been through the whole motor, tears it up. So that goes like that. Pump's usable but worn. Goes in here again. And the rocker on the studs. This is all the hardware that we took the motor apart with. That's the oil pump shaft. You can see all the wear on everything's got groove. You know, wherever the oil area was at, you got wear. This is where the seal was. The seal lets dirt get in there and then it cuts out the shaft, so it's all worn. The motor just shows it's got a lot of oil issues. They never changed it, it looks like to me. It's got a lot of metal and everything. You know, even that was never cleaned very well. Maybe to put a custom oil tank on it, filthy. That would chew up everything. Alright, so that kind of gives you an idea what's going on with that. There's the valves at. That's the alternator. Pistons. I don't know what happened to the valves in this motor. Thought I had valves for it somewhere. See if the valve guides are worn out in this thing, but without having the valves, it's hard to check this kind of stuff. Alright. It's a good thing I got some used valves laying over here I can use. Here's an intake valve. Clearances we got on this stuff. Yeah, a little clearance, not too awful bad. So this stuff could be reused. It's a little loose, but nothing. It's within spec, I think. Yeah, you can use all that stuff. It's usable if you keep the old original valves. Now if you put better valves in it, you got to change the guides because they're good valves have different size stems to them. Kibble White purposely makes it so the stuff doesn't interchange. They got a plan. They got a master plan. Alright, so I don't know what happened to the valves because I thought I had some valves for this motor that I saw before, but I don't see it anymore, so who knows. They disappeared someplace. Alright, so now next thing we're going to do, we've got to find out if these cylinders are any good. The only way you can do that, you got to hone them. So we're going to go ahead and take them, pull them out of my boxes. So I already blasted these to coat them. And then I found the new cylinders on the floor that maybe I wasn't supposed to do. Who knows? Okay, so we got that one there. We got our stand over here. Put that over here so you can see what we're doing. Boom, boom. Get this out of the way a little bit so it doesn't get too wet from oil, because it can get squirted pretty easy. Alright, so there is our cylinders. hand drill here. Okay, not too much carbon buildup on there. I think this is my 300 grit stone. Or are they 300 stones? I don't remember. These are the 500 numbers, so that's 300 grit. Pretty smooth. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to flash hone it so we can see kind of how bad the cylinder is. Any bad areas will show up pretty quickly. See enough already. Now I got oily. Yeah. Nice and oily. Good for camera work. Alright. And the light was off. Okay, so this cylinder here, you can see the scratch and stuff in there, but the biggest thing is you can see all the little spots right here. That's from rust. So that has to be all cleaned out for the cylinder to be good. So there's no big gouges or anything, got little small scratches in there, nothing really serious. And they're fairly round, which is nice. So this set's pretty darn nice in that respect. So these could probably go to a 10 over piston to clean up and be used just fine with a 10 over piston. So there's no reason to really replace these things. They should clean up nicely. And then we're just gonna, he wanted to put them black, so we're gonna put some heat dissipant on there to blacken them out. So anyway, you have to put a little hone in them to figure out what condition this stuff is when you do it. Look at that mark there. See that vertical mark? That's a moisture line. See, it doesn't go away when you wipe on it. So you can see the mark goes top to bottom. That doesn't look too good. But that should clean out with only 2 or 3 thou more. It'll probably clean out just fine. Alright, so we got that figured out. The only thing I don't know where the valves are at. They're around here somewhere, I'm sure. But anyway, so I got to get a hold of the customer, see what they want to do. Right now the crank's not looking too good down there. And if we're going to put good valves and stuff in there, we've got to change the guides. Otherwise, we can probably run it the way it is. If its valves are good. We'll have to see. We're going to put a cam in it. There's a cam right there we're going to use. So, pretty much, the biggest thing's the crank's bad. That's the biggest problem. I don't like those cranks too much anyway. They're too flippy, too floppy. You rev them up, they go out of true and they start vibrating. I could never make my bike stay true as a 93, and every time I rode the bike, it would get worse. If you rev it up to 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, the crank would start flopping around. You rev it to 6,000, it would definitely flop all over the place. So my problem is I like to drive at high speed, so it doesn't work too good. So it looks like you had MLS gaskets in this one. Not really needed. Alright, so that's kind of a quick diagnosis of what's going on. So we need that and a few other pieces. Overall condition of the motor wasn't too awful bad, except for the crank. So I consider that junk anyway. So all the good parts are actually usable, the normal stuff. But all right, that's it for this. We'll figure out what we're going to do to this one, and we'll be working on this probably in a week or so. I'll get all the stuff cleaned up and figure it out. So anyway, that's how you diagnose it to begin with. So there's our first go at it.